This guy thought his bike was fast enough to escape the police, but quickly discovered this wasn't a game, because even though his bike could leave the patrol car behind, he still ended up in cuffs. Which leaves one question: how do they catch them? Most think that having a fast bike equals a quick getaway from the cops, but many forget that you're not running from one patrol car, but something even worse. Because even though a bike can beat traffic, this unit doesn't need to worry about that at all. And this is exactly what happened here when this rider thought he got away from police, but didn't realize the thing in the sky was still on him.
He has in case he gets back on the interstate.
Updating them.
We have someone on LPGA, safety loop. He's coming up to LPGA now.
30's at LPGA and 95.
He's through LPGA, still westbound.
But I think our rider got a bit too tired of trying to outrun the chopper that he ended up stopping.
All right, 1792 now towards Sanford. Let's see where he goes. Coming up under I-4.
1959.
Alright, somebody just tried to step out with him. He stopped at 2nd and Oak.
And the funny thing is, his plate said, "Will run," and still ended up stopping.
Oh man, was that shit fun?
No, not really.
You see the tag? No, what's it say? I like to run.
However, sometimes they don't stop, and that is exactly what this rider did, thinking he'd outrun the helicopter, but in reality, they was always on him.
Last second squeezes around a transport to go westbound 401. Jesus, man.
4 westbound 401 1102.
He's flying.
He thought he was slick and entered an underground car park to fully escape. But what he didn't know was that the police was tracking his every move, eventually finding him. But what if I told you that the police didn't even have to do anything to stop you in the first place? Because, believe it or not, the bike itself got the rider caught. Most forget bikes don't run forever and think they could go endlessly down the interstate without stopping. But this unlucky fellow's fate came too soon. Because after stealing someone's bike, I think our friend forgot to check something really important.
Block of airport or highway on the motorcycle. Yeah, 13. Looks like he's trying to take off, but his bike just died at Howard Highway and Airport. Take a second. It just died on the intersection.
Now, that's definitely something I wouldn't want running towards me if I ran from them. But before I tell you what he forgot to check, I think this second pursuit will give you a hint. Because after he ran from CHP, I think he regretted his decision near the end. Because while he was mocking the police, he also forgot to check something very important before trying to outrun California Highway Patrol. And if you still didn't get the hint, it's fuel. Riders always forget about fuel, which ultimately causes them to get caught. However, sometimes the police ain't that lucky and actually have to face some serious heat. So what if there was no helicopter and the bike still had a good amount of fuel? Well, you'd think 9 times out of 10 the rider would actually get away. But what if I told you that's wrong? A superbike is brutally quick on clean asphalt, but pursuits can spill onto shoulders, construction zones, and unfamiliar back roads, where gravel, grass, or broken pavement can appear with almost no warning. And this teen learned the hard way after attempting to outrun Georgia State Troopers. But I think our friend here made a big mistake, because instead of continuing, he ended up going down the route which ended him.
All right, turn it down the side street into a storage lot, towards a storage lot. 1050, 1050.
And I'm guessing he forgot that 2 wheels plus uneven terrain wasn't ideal when on a bike, because he ended up crashing it and getting caught.
Get him behind your back.
But I think the police clocked on to this soon, because in Arkansas, this bike literally got forced off the highway by another cop car. You can even see how they're already blocking up traffic ahead to push the rider off the road. Eventually, his 2 wheels weren't enough to get through that grass and ended up in cuffs. But trust me, from this point on, the video only gets better. So hit that like button and subscribe and witness the final few tactics used to stop fast riders. In some departments, the most effective vehicle to send after a motorcycle is another motorcycle. And these aren't just ordinary bikes covered in flashing lights. And some of these bikes can even reach speeds of more than 137 miles per hour while packing 1,300 cc. Admittedly, that still won't beat a 200 horsepower superbike in a straight race. But that isn't what these motorcycles were designed to do, because even though they aren't the quickest, they still have more experience. However, sometimes the rider is the one that gets himself caught, because with riding fast for a long duration can fatigue a rider severely. And with extreme fatigue comes silly mistakes. And if you don't believe me, watch what happens to this rider, because while he was going 140 miles per hour in the dark, fate finally gave in and he got knocked off. But if you think you'd still be able to outrun the police if you had a bike, let me know how.